Tell me if you've seen this play before. Trump invites a world leader to the White House, makes sure the cameras are rolling, and then proceeds to publicly embarrass the foreign dignitary. Well, yesterday, that ignominious distinction belonged to the South African president. On Wednesday, he walked into an ambush in the Oval Office. Trump, who famously refuses to even read the daily briefing, apparently put together a slideshow, asked the lights to be dimmed at one point, and played a dubiously edited video montage to support his false claims of white genocide in a nation that until not too long ago still embraced apartheid. Ramaphosa, the South African president, calmly tried to explain to our president that the extremist voice in one of the clips he played was in fact a fringe political player that was expelled from his party and whose anti-white cause had been personally condemned by that president. Now, Trump then repeated claims of stolen farms where white farmers had been butchered and whose perpetrators had never been charged. Again, in a manner seemingly designed to appease an unruly child, Ramaphosa explained that what was in fact untrue, and that while there was violence in his country, blacks in fact represented a far greater number of its victims. White farms in fact were not being repossessed by the government, and no acts of racial violence were ever not prosecuted. The term genocide, by the way, it is a loaded one, as intentional extermination of a race or ethnic group is required. Trump invoking it here, though, not surprising, is still stunningly unsupported. The latest data showed that in the last quarter of 2024, there were 12 total deaths linked to farming communities, including farm workers who were likely black. The scene itself was surreal, with Elon Musk lecturing the visiting presidential delegation. But through it all, Ramaphosa and his team kept their cool. In fact, at one point, South Africa's wealthiest businessman, who happens to be white and serving as the nation's agricultural minister, explained to Trump and friends that the facts and actual data did not support the invented narrative Trump tried to humiliate his nation with. But the hypocrisy of the whole dog and pony show was just too much. With everything going on in the world, both foreign and domestic, this is how Trump is spending his time? Additionally, last week, while Trump was on his Middle East trip, he told the Saudis and the broader region there that he denounced Western intervention and pledged, quote, no more lectures on how to live, end quote, a reference to our long-standing approach to try and encourage Arab nations to actually advocate equality there and tolerance. But apparently that doesn't apply to countries that don't offer to buy him a plane. Also, it's more than a little curious that the so-called genocide in South Africa that impacted white farmers led to immediate asylum for 50 of those folks, while actual genocide in the same continent for people with darker skin colors doesn't actually register on Trump's radar. And for even vetted candidates, including Afghanis who fought the Taliban alongside U.S. troops, they're told there's no place for them in our country. It is amazing that what we saw yesterday has actually become a pattern in only 5 months of this administration. Embarrass invited guests, coddle our enemies, redefine what America stands for, and who gets to be part of the national experiment.